Hi, my name's Tony. I'll be 84 in a couple of weeks, and a thought or two I'd like to pass on to you. I'm ably assisted once again by my talented grandson. Logan also helped the other couple of videos that we posted on YouTube, one called Turning 80, and then a year later, one cleverly titled Turning 81. So 84 is getting up there. Let's talk about it. Most people would say I'm beyond middle age. And I've lost some family and friends along the way. Some made it to 70s and 80s, but I lost a 47-year-old daughter-in-law, a 57-year-old niece, and a 67-year-old sister. So not everybody gets to this advanced age, and I'll have to credit Lady Luck for some of that. So it helps to have a good start. You know, I don't think the kids that are in a war zone or impoverished area or otherwise an unhealthy environment that they chose to be there. I was fortunate to be born into a very supportive family and one that had the wherewithal to handle the necessities, you know, the medical care, the food, and all of those other things that are important to a life. Now, when I was 8 years old, speaking of luck, I contracted polio. I got the worst of 3 types, and the right side of my body was paralyzed for a while. At the time, they didn't know how people got polio, but after a few months, a couple of weeks in the hospital and some period of time at home, the symptoms totally left me. So 2/3 of the people that got polio back then had some sort of symptoms, and I didn't. So that was very lucky. Skipping ahead a few years, when I was 16, I got my one ticket, driving ticket, because I was careless and was involved in a crash. But for the next almost 70 years of driving, and this blows my mind, I have not even been pulled over by a cop. So there have been many times over the years when I could have caused a wreck or certainly could have gotten a ticket. I was either distracted driving or tired or had too much alcohol. So the fact that there was never a cop behind me over almost 70 years, again, Lady Luck is to be thanked. But, you know, there are things you can do to have some control over your life. For example, exercise. When I was in my 40s and 50s, I finished 3 marathons, did a lot of running back then. And the 3rd marathon, completed when I was 55, it wasn't very pretty. I hit the wall at mile 20 and then kind of hobbled the remaining 6.2 miles. And even a turtle or two, you know, actually passed me along the way. But I did finish. And these days, I'm more into moderate but regular exercise. I hit the local health club about 5 or 6 times a week. Sleep's important. You know, I aim for 7 hours a night. Don't always get it. So I try to keep my mornings free so I can sleep in when I want to. Food. I'm still starting every morning with my own smoothie. It's a mixture of fruit and vegetables. Gets me started healthily for the day, and I try to keep an eye on the rest of the day, my caloric intake. So there are things you can do to try to keep health alive and to try to prolong your life. A couple of things I do that are a little different. One is technology. This little device, this Apple Watch, gives me some peace of mind. I just recently bought it. I've had family members that have fallen off bikes, you know, broken ribs, hips, all kinds of things, because falling is an issue. This has various health benefits, but among them is, I should say, the ability to detect a hard fall. If I have a hard fall or am involved in a significant car crash, this device will ask me whether or not I want to call 911, and I have the option of saying, no, I'm fine. But if I'm otherwise incapacitated, it'll call 911 for you. Another use of technology, of course, is keeping in touch with family and friends. I have a daughter and family that live in Germany, and even though we have visits back and forth occasionally, it's mostly the weekly FaceTime sessions I have with her. So I'm able to keep in touch with whatever's going on in their lives. And my son and family are local, so there's a lot of frequent visiting. So keeping in touch with family and friends, very important. There are 4 guys that I have known for over 50 years. They're up in Virginia and Maryland. We were all together at one point, but now that I'm down in Florida, we're spread out a little bit. Well, for the last 6 years or more, every month or so, we get together online. We use Zoom so we can see each other, and then we use a second smart device to show a shared 52 card deck. We play poker, 3 of us have a drink or two, we do a lot of laughing, and then maintain those friendships. So very important. You ought to see these guys. Most people would say they're upper middle class, but when we are playing with fake money and the bet goes up from a nickel to a dime or a dime to a quarter, you can see the perspiration break out on their foreheads. I mean, it is so funny. I still get a big kick out of that. Something else I do for the last 15 or so years, every 3 years, I go through an online or actually in-person driver safety course. Because the older you get, it's getting a little tougher, reflexes and all of that. I most recently, a couple months ago, I did an AARP course that was designed for older drivers. And I was sitting in on my kitchen table in my boxer shorts, probably more information than you wanted, but drinking coffee, and I went through the 5 or 6 hour course. And I'll do that hopefully another 3 years from now, because it's worthwhile being reminded of the things you should be when you get behind the wheel. So, 84, kind of old. Most people that make it to 80 don't make it to 90, and I'm halfway along there. So one of the other things I do is I occasionally let the kid in me out. When my grandkids were younger, I used to, color with them and tell them stories about Winnie the Pooh and the 100-Acre Woods. Now that they're mid to late 20s, they don't seem to appreciate that as much as they used to. But, I still am partly a kid. I've watched, I have read, there's a 3-volume set of Calvin and Hobbes, my favorite comic. Must be 1,500 pages. It's all 10 years of Bill Watterson's drawing, daily and Sunday drawings. I've seen those pages at least 3 times in the last 10 years, and I'm still laughing at them. I've borrowed a couple of Big Nate books from the library, because there's a 6th grader that has all these antics that I find funny. And I'm enjoying watching the kids in my neighborhood go to and from school and frankly just grow up. So I think that's healthy to be reminded of that aspect of life. So whatever happens, I'm at peace. Most people, again, don't make it. I'm pretty healthy. I know it can change on a dime, but I appreciate what I've gotten so far. I hope to have more of it, and I'll keep doing the things that I think I should be doing in order to secure that kind of a life for as long as possible. Another issue is good medical care. I have wonderful care down here, and I still go to all of the annual and semi-annual appointments, trying to prevent future problems. So that's also a key to longevity and decent health. Okay, a couple things. Logan is going to put a link to the previous 2 videos in case you're interested in checking them out. So thanks for watching, and I wish you good health.